Okay. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back with another news article. Welcome to the channel. So what's the news article today?
This is U.S. because I think we tend to focus on California
We're going
because
abroad. Abroad or is it broad?
abroad means
Broad.
away.
Not the woman. Broad. Travel.
Going wide.
There you go.
I feel like we typically focus on California. That's where we are. This is where we work. But this is like U.S. real estate news. And since we're in a new year, it says that homebuyer demand has dropped to a 5-year low.
What?
It says
That's shocking.
home buyers currently have the most options available since 2020, and but with rising home costs, it's deterring many buyers, and that home sales have dropped to their lowest level on record, aside from the early pandemic period.
Okay.
So, but I mean, to me, this makes, being in California, this makes perfect sense. It's like we have outgrown, my family personally has outgrown our current home,
Right.
but all I keep thinking is, how can we afford $1 million home? And
We were talking about this earlier. We're like, houses just keep going on a rampage with value.
they just keep going up. I mean, my husband bought our house 12 years ago, and it has more than tripled
Tripled in value.
in value.
Crazy.
And we refinanced during the pandemic, so we have like a 2% interest rate. So we're talking about purchasing $1 million house to fit our family's needs and paying what, 6% on top of it.
No one wants to sell, although it sounds like the article is saying we have more inventory coming online, which I have noticed. But as you can imagine, everyone was locked in their home for so many years during the pandemic, so you technically didn't want to sell, or you couldn't sell.
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to buy something, no one's selling something so you could buy it. Then, like my sister said, your family's expanding, and most home buyers are upgrading.
Yeah.
Right? Like my sister, the family's outgrowing itself. They need to sell to upgrade. So you need to liquidate a product to buy a product, but if you don't have a product to buy, you are stuck in your current home. So it sounds like a good thing. If we're seeing more inventory, that means more options for people. But we're also at a weird, like, pivotal point because we have high interest rates.
Yeah.
So who can technically afford to buy? You really gotta be doing well off, and that's not me right now. That's not me right now.
Well, it's like
Soon to be.
more. I feel like you got to be more than well off, and also I think it's a weird mental thing, right? I'm like, wait a second. We have to pay what? Like, what? 3 times, 4 times the amount for just a little bit more house, and our interest rate is what? Our payments are going to be what?
Crazy.
It's, even though there's a need, you're forced to ask yourself, can we get by? And I think some people are like, do we wait this out? What is going to happen? What is going to happen with interest rates?
Right.
What is going to happen with...
That's been me for years. I'll be honest with you. I've been the it's gonna crash camp for the longest. And every time I'm like, it's crashing, the government comes in and throws money at it. And it just is like, boop, it skyrockets. And some of you guys probably see it, and you're invested in the stock market. You're like, oh, my stocks are going down. Flood the market with money. Stocks keep going up. Home prices keep going up. So I'm in the it's gotta crash camp, and I still think it has to, because this is not realistic.
No, how can people live, like, continue to buy? Like, our kids are young now.
Yeah.
But eventually they're going to get up, grow up, and we're hoping push them out of state for college. I'm like, how, if they wanted to come back to LA in 15 years, what could they afford?
Yeah.
It's going to be a $2 million entry level house. It's going to be $2 million.
I'm seeing generational purchases. So multi-generational buying one house. And I think your neighbors, right? Her husband, their family sold a house, and she said
it seems like
it's multi-generational buying into one home, because that's the only way you can buy a home. It's not like, oh, the husband and wife and their one kid are gonna buy a starter home. It's no, the husband, the wife, the kid, the cousin, the parents, the grandma are all buying a home because that's the only way they could afford it. And in some cases, the prices are still getting driven up, because if you're in a specific area with little to no inventory and you get into this bidding war, it's just driving the area up even further. At least that's what I notice. It could be different where you guys are. We are talking nationwide, so everyone's market is gonna vary.
Something else we've noticed here too is a lot of ADUs being built, and I think it's either for one of two reasons. Either what Daniel said, you're putting family back there because they cannot afford to purchase anywhere else.
House.
Yeah, so we're putting family back there, or we're trying to supplement income. Like we're putting, I joke with my husband all the time, like, let's throw a little box car back there, like turn it into a little unit, right? And rent it out to our nephew or something, like someone who, we trust and love, that we don't mind on our property with the kids, but just so we can have an extra $600 to $1,000 coming in a month.
Shit, at this rate, it's like an extra $2,000.
Well, yeah, but
I'll buy us.
No, but we also wouldn't charge a nephew that price. Yeah, but yeah, it's like it's insane. I think that's what people are doing, because it's like, what we're gonna buy $1 million home, or we're gonna drop $200,000,
$300,000, build an ADU, and you have a brand new construction, and you've technically just made your property into a duplex or a triplex, depending on your parameters and what the city allows.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone's doing these days.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see interest rates come down. Hopefully we'll see more inventory come online. But I don't know. With the new administration in place, who knows what's going on? It's freaking crazy out there right now. But I do know certain states are seeing more inventory come online versus other states. Florida, I've definitely heard stories that there's a ton of condos going on the market, because you guys are dealing with a lot of HOA issues. So you guys have a lot of inventory coming online. California has seen a small increase in real estate come online. Texas, some of these bigger areas that are typically the last to be affected because they are kind of their own economies, you're going to start to see more activity within them. That's just how it is. You have ebbs and flows, but these bigger economies are usually the last to experience the movement. So Los Angeles, New York, Florida, Texas, San Francisco, areas like that, you're going to start to see a lot more transition. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Daniel has a point. It's like, I feel like we got to get 6 months into this year to kind of see which direction things are going to go.
Right.
But it is interesting, and I think it's forcing people to kind of make hard decisions. It's like, do we really want to sell and leave our 2% interest rate and our monthly mortgage that we can do easily for stress, or do we build family?
Come on, back home, Grandma and Grandpa.
I know Mom jokes about it, but I'm not putting Mom on our property. Hell no.
Nope. And with the Fed, it seems like they're a little indecisive with the way inflation is going. It's like one day, oh, we're going to lower interest rates, and the next day it's like, oh, inflation's still out of control. We got to keep them where they are or raise them. I don't know. That's going to play a big role in what happens. Honestly, I feel like they just need to curb inflation right now, increase interest rates, crash everything, so we can have like a hard reset and then reestablish. Like, we almost need to fail. Like, the government has too much control on trying to prevent failure, but it just keeps kicking the can down the road. We need devastation.
Oh my God.
We need chaos.
Oh my God.
That's what I live for.
We know. Just stop.
All right, let's conclude it there before I get out of control. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.